Hey, it's Nick, and today I want to talk about using servlets. And using servlets, Java servlets, in an IDE like IntelliJ is not super straightforward unless you have a lot of experience working in the Java EE. So I'm going to talk today just about how do you set up and run a very basic servlet. There's quite a few things that you need to set up in the first place just to get some very basic functionality out of a servlet. And the first thing that we need to do is have Maven put together all of our dependencies and plugins and whatnot that are related to the project. So you create this pom.xml file at the root of your Java project, and in a second we'll use Maven to compile and package this project for us. You can see there's a couple dependencies, the Java Servlet, we'll be using that, and a couple plugins here, Maven obviously, and we're using the Java's 1.8 JDK. And to get this project to work in the first place, the very first thing we need to do is have Maven build this stuff for us. So you want to navigate to the root of your Java project, and once you have your pom.xml file created, we're going to use Maven to compile it for us, and that succeeded. And we also want to have Maven package it for us because it's going to create a .war file for us that we're going to need in a second when we're setting up IntelliJ to have Tomcat host this for us. So the compile and the packaging both succeeded, and now we can look at our project. You can see we have a basic hello world project in here, and we have a servlet class, and we've got an index.jsp page. So when I run this index.jsp page is going to be the first thing that we see, and this is just some basic HTML that's going to be loaded into the browser. And from there, we're going to want to test this hello servlet class. And the way that we test it is by creating an instance of hello servlet, and we create that instance in this web.xml file. So this creates our instance, and when a user types in from the index of this URL, when they type in /greeting, that's going to call this instance of hello servlet. And when hello servlet is called with a GET request, it's going to print out hello world in our browser. So one thing that we need to set up for our browser is we need to set up our configurations for Tomcat. And I already have it set up, but if let's say I didn't have this all set up before, I'll do this from the beginning. We want to add a Tomcat server, a local Tomcat server. Now obviously you got to have Tomcat set up and working on your computer before you could do any of this, but once you do, and once you load in a couple of your instances of Tomcat, you can have access to them from here. So we want to pick the Tomcat 8.0 application server, and we want to go into deployment, and we're going to select that WAR file that Maven created for us, and that is right here, our hello world 1.0 snapshot.war file. So we've got that, and we're going to apply that and say OK. So now when we run this, compile and run this for us, it's going to use that WAR file that Maven created for us, and Tomcat is going to host it for us. So let's go ahead and run this, and the first thing we'll see is the index.jsp page. It's going to pop up in my browser in a second. just restarting the Tomcat server here. And you can see here's the index page for this Hello World project. Now we're going to test out that servlet class that we created. And we test it out just by calling this URL. And we've called that class, and it's spit back out at us Hello World. And that's all the functionality that we're expecting right now, because that's all we've written. It's just a very basic thing, but I just wanted to go through and show you some of the things that you have to do and what you need to get put in place to be able to run a very basic servlet. And IntelliJ makes this pretty easy. You can do some similar things from NetBeans and Eclipse, but being able to start and stop the Tomcat instance and load the WAR files and have everything all in one. The only thing you need to go outside of IntelliJ for is to build your Maven project, and there's probably a plugin or something for IntelliJ even to do that. But that concludes the presentation on Java Servlets. Thanks for watching.